have the first thing on our agenda tonight is Caleb presenting the budget. This is in line with what we have to do for our revote, so that's why we're doing this again, for those of you who might have sat through it once before. It's the same budget.
Forgot about the mic, I was just gonna. Okay, so I'd like to start by letting everybody know again that if they want to get a copy of the full budget, the entire budget packet that is on the desk over there, you can go to the elementary school or the high school and they'll get you a copy, or you can go to the Sunshine Free Library and they also have a copy of it. It's unchanged from the budget that was presented on May 3rd, and I'll just kind of touch over everything that I went over today. I apologize. Okay, so the total revenues that were budgeted for next year are $16,848,150. They're similar to the 2010 and 11 fiscal year, with real estate taxes making up 62% of the revenue, state aid making up 34%, and other revenue bringing in another 4%. That's things like Parabosis refund and admissions to games and things like that. I apologize. Just to give people an idea of how this affects the taxes, if you had a $200,000 house in the town of Highland, your taxes would go up about $95, $93 in Lumberland, and here are the values down here. This is available on this will be available on the website as well if you want to take a look at that. I have a feeling when I swipe this, it's about to
use the keyboard. It needs an update.
Okay, and then this is for Deer Park in the town of Tustin. It's about $156 on a $200,000 house and $160 on a $200,000 house, respectively. This is just informational, and you'll be able to get it up on the website if you wanted to go look at it. It's what your star exemption will be next year, depending on where you live. As for the revenues, what rounds out the revenues is $5.695 million in state aid. There was a BOCES refund of $350,000 budgeted. That was the lowest of the previous 5 years, because I like to budget conservatively, and that's not a number that is readily able to be estimated. And then $100,000 will be used from our reserves to pay for unemployment and sick time that gets paid out upon an employee's leave. All other revenues are anticipated to be consistent with the prior year revenues. Total expenditures would be $16,848,150 as well, with 72% of that going to programs, 17% going to capital, which is the management of the buildings, and 10% going to administrative. The changes in the administrative salaries are a savings of approximately $24,000 from the treasurer instead of having a business administrator, $11,000 in savings in the reduction in BOCES services, and a net savings from the superintendent of $20,000. And the changes you'll see there on the sheet that's up front are mostly due to a change in the way that employee benefits are allocated. For the operation and maintenance of the plant, we held the expenses at the same as last year. Most of the changes that you'll see on the budget that was presented are due to the way that employee benefits are allocated. No supplies went up, no new equipment, well, no additional equipment above what was budgeted last year. The bond payments, they are what they are. That's the amount that we're going to have to pay is $1.5 million. Program expenditures, as you're aware from last presentations, we eliminated the pre-K program, an art and music teacher, a guidance counselor, A kindergarten teacher, however, if the class size would go above 28, we would bring in another teacher and elimination of a reading teacher. Otherwise, it is just contractual increases in salaries and benefits. If we were to go into a contingent budget, if the budget gets voted down, what would happen is we would have about $307,491 less in tax revenue. Under a contingent budget, I don't have the authority to purchase non-essential equipment. I can't allow use of the buildings without payment for the use of the facilities. And pupil supplies and uniforms are not allowed to be part of the budget either. Field trips for social or entertainment purposes are not allowed. However, educational field trips are still allowed. There's also a cap on administrative expenses, which we would be below anyway. The lesser prior year of the last proposed budget amount, and additional cuts would have to be made to make up the difference. If anybody has any questions, I can entertain them.
You got,
Everybody hear me?
no, can you
Yes.
use the microphone?
Okay, can you hear me now? Yes. Okay, I'm not looking for you now with the lines. Mr. Russell, the first question I'm going to ask you, and I guess you've already answered the question. On the three-part budget, the administrative, the capital, and the program, I see that the administrative part of the budget goes up by $55,000, and the program part of the budget, which is the one that actually affects the students the most, goes down by $268,000. I'm thinking what you're saying is that you reallocated benefits from some categories into another category.
Actually, what New York prescribes for the three-part budget that gets presented is that I allocate employee benefits in proportion to salaries, and because the salaries were largely cut from programs, administrative salaries increased as a percentage of overall salaries, and more benefits got allocated on the three-part budget to that.
Okay, thank you. A second question, you've given us a budget status report. This one says as of 4:30. I think the one I saw, this one is dated June 4th. It says as of 4:30.
June 4th is when I printed it, but yeah, it's as of 4:30.
Is that accurate
Correct.
right now?
It's accurate as of April 30th. It's not accurate to today.
Okay, because in the budget message that you shared with Dr. Morgano and the community, say that there's $80,000 of fund balance. However, this budget status report shows unencumbered balance of $586,000, available balance of $586,000. Can you explain the difference?
The $586,000 are going to be operating expenditures that are going to be expended between May and June. So I don't encumber, not everything has been encumbered yet, so obviously expenses that I don't know about haven't been encumbered. So salaries have all been encumbered. A good deal of contractual expenses we have coming up, things that go on an annual basis have been encumbered, but I haven't encumbered all of them, and that I have to clean that up a bit.
Okay, and my last question on the budget, well, second to last, I guess. I have here a copy of page 18 of the Elder Faculty Association contract. It says employee benefit trust, letter C. The district will make a contribution for each unit member in the amount detailed below. This shall be remitted to the treasurer of the benefit trust payable in 4 equal installments payable quarterly with first installment due July 13th. The association shall be solely responsible for the administration of the trust. And it shows the 5 periods, the 5 years of the contract is in effect. Starts at $1,060 for the current year, fall 2019, it shows $1,092 per unit member. And that comes to about $50,000, give or take a few. Where is that shown in the budget?
It is in the budget under health insurance. It is something that I could break up out in the future, but keeping consistently, it has been budgeted for and expended out of the health insurance line on the budget.
Okay. And go over this one more time, just one over at once. In order to balance this budget, there's approximately $800,000 cut from prior year budget. When the new expenses went back in, it was approximately $500,000 that went back in. So this budget for this year is only $300,000 less than last year's budget. What is going to be the situation next year? Are you going to have to find more cuts? Or are you going to have to raise taxes?
I don't anticipate having to find any more cuts, and taxes will be raised inflationary to keep up with expenses.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joan Blount. I have one question. I have a lot of concerns simply because so much has been cut from the programs and the students and the teachers to come up with just this budget. But one thing I see here tonight under programs for students with disabilities, there's like a $20,000 difference. $27,000. What else is being cut from programs for students with disabilities?
The Students with Disabilities line was actually one of the things that wasn't cut, but was a savings by using one of our employees instead of contracting for BOCES for the CSE chair position.
So there haven't been any more cuts to programs for students with disabilities?
No, there haven't been any cuts to the Students with Disabilities.
Thank you.
Okay, that's
Any other questions for the budget for Taylor? Okay. Thank you, Taylor, very much. We will now move on to reports to the board, beginning with Ms. Fred, elementary principal.
I'll speak loudly. Okay. So we're winding down the year at the elementary school. A number of things that have happened over the course of the last couple of weeks. May 4th, we had NISMA results came in. A number of our students in the elementary school participated in the Solo Festival, receiving many scores from excellent or higher. And I'd like to congratulate 2 students, Raylan Keegan in saxophone in 6th grade, and Caitlin McGarry, flute in 6th grade. Both received perfect scores of 100 this year. So we had Trooper Big Jack and his canine German Shepherd Versa visit the elementary school today for a presentation at 9 a.m. We had all of the school here in the gymnasium, and then we proceeded outside to the field, and we saw a demonstration, and he provided an overview of the dog's capabilities and their sense of smell and what they do and what his job is as part of a canine instructor and part of the New York State Police. So that was very interesting, and we did find out that the dogs are named based on fallen state troopers. So whenever you hear of names of dogs that are state trooper dogs, of whether they're for bomb or drugs, they're typically named for a fallen trooper. So that was an interesting fact that I had not known of before.
What grade levels participated in that?
It was everybody. We had pre-K all the way through 6th grade here. So they all got a chance to see Trooper Bizjack in person. The upcoming, we have upcoming June 12th, field day here at the elementary school. On June 19th, we will be recognizing our students in academics. That will be the evening of academic recognition here at the elementary school for grades 3 through 6th. And also on Wednesday, June 20th, we will have our 6th grade moving up, a recognition ceremony for those that are going to the junior, senior high school that evening. So I'd like to invite you all to those events that recognize students at the elementary school. Also, lastly, I want to recognize our PTA. They've been great in bringing in a number of people into the school, and they just brought in a grant from Oldies that will provide us $500 in healthy snacks and wellness for the initiative for 2018-2019 school year. So we're working with our staff in the cafeteria, and I'd really like to thank the PTA for writing the grant and bringing that into the district for next year. So congratulations to them.
Thank you, Mr. President. And that just reminds me, we always hear about what the PTA does, and we don't recognize it enough. So I'd like to take this opportunity, based on what you just said, to truly recognize the PTA for all the work behind the scenes that they're always doing. So.
I did want to recognize that at the Sullivan County School Boards Association meeting this past May 30th, Wednesday, we recognized Ron Dunker as our Outstanding Educator of the Year, and it was just a nice evening. Maybe Amador, he was also there, he could speak on behalf of the evening and the events that took place, but it was wonderful.
It was. A lot of fun, a lot of great educators, a lot of great stories, inspiring to all, and we had a great group for Mr. Dunker.
So congratulations. And that's all I have to share with you right now.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Secretary Principal, Ms. Keegan.
Good evening. We are underway with the Regents exams. We had the global transition exam for 10th graders on June 5th. Examination schedules and transportation information can be found on the junior senior high school website, or come to the main office or call the main office. The counselors have been extremely busy finalizing schedules for next year. Since our last meeting, the following students have received the Community Guy and Gal Award, which our junior senior high school faculty and staff continues to nominate to honor them for their commitments to community service. The following students: Jordan Reed, 10th grade, Taylor McNeil, 11th, Mudra Patel, 9th, Michaela Gear, 7th, John Fisher, 8th, Tiffany Leonard, 12th, Bryn Greenfield, 7th, and Alexis Williams, 7th. Congratulations to those students. Dr. Magano and I had the pleasure of attending the Scholar Athlete Breakfast with Kayla Moss and Joseph Santoro and their families. It was a lovely event. Kimberly Gonzalez, our class of 2018 valedictorian, was presented an award at the Sullivan County Government Center. Dr. Magano and I were in attendance along with Kimberly's family and honorees from other school districts. Another wonderful event. On Monday, June 11th, the 33rd Annual Academic Achievement Dinner will be held in Hurleyville. Our top 3 ranked students, Kimberly Gonzalez, Joseph Santoro, and Isabella Pizzo, will attend, and I will be attending the event with our board president, Mrs. Gluckner. First you heard that, right?
Yeah. Let me write that down, please. What was that date?
That's Monday.
Okay.
I believe it's 6 o'clock at night.
Oh.
Color Wars, which was postponed due to weather and closures due to the storm, has been rescheduled to June 11th at the junior senior high school after school to avoid conflicting with review for finals. It will be a fun way to end our school year. A very special thank you to our PBIS members, parent volunteers, and our cafeteria staff for arranging a barbecue lunch and a visit to the Riverside Creamery ice cream truck. It was a beautiful afternoon, and we were able to get outside and enjoy it. The 6th grade class was invited to attend a dance at the junior senior high school this past Friday with the 7th and 8th grade students. It was a great opportunity for the grade levels to mix and get reacquainted. The turnout was fantastic. The kids dressed to impress, and everyone was on their best behavior. Thank you to Mrs. Koenig for organizing this event, to Evan Bizjack for DJing, and to Haley Sherman and Tiffany Leonard for taking photos and helping keep the kids engaged, and to all the volunteers who chaperoned their donated items. Academic night and honor society inductions took place last night, June 6th. Mr. Camaro and his choral students continue to dazzle us with impromptu performances. They recently stopped by the main office and finished our day with a very upbeat and catchy tune that left us all with a smile. The bands will also be playing at graduation on June 23rd. And lastly, auditions for next year's Key Element group began on Wednesday. And that is my report. Is that Skidmore?
Yeah, you should have first.
That we're not.
Okay.
Any questions from the board? Dr. Laureate, sorry, is next Wednesday, 7 o'clock?
Yes.
7 o'clock.
Find Eddie Methodist Church.
Yep, Pond Eddie Methodist Church.
And we need, we need the administrators here, please.
We are reading. We're all set.
Okay.
Yep.
Scott has the thing.
Yep, we're all set.
All right. Thank you very much, folks. And we have at this point a student report from Kim Gonzalez. And congratulations, Kim, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You've been busy lately.
So there's not much to say because we're kind of, saying goodbye. But one notable thing that happened was that the National Honor Society received their necessary 16 pints of blood to give a scholarship to the senior. And that senior was Julia Foster. There's really not much else to report. We're really just wrapping things up. But I would like to say on behalf of the students, thank you for all your hard work, Dr. Morgana. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next, we have our treasurer's report. Mr. Russell?
Hopefully I just had a budget presentation, but also, I'd like to say that we have received state aid claim verification for the 2016 and 17 year, and we should be receiving some state aid back around $10,000 for additional day attendance that we did us for Regent's Day. Aside from that, I don't have any other updates aside from the work and other stats. If you have any questions on those.
Okay. Any questions? No. All right. Moving along, we have our district report from Dr. Morgana.
The tax certiorari that was mentioned here some time ago from what used to be Morant was withdrawn. So we don't have to worry about paying this tax issue. So that's good news. I had a question today of attending the valedictorian, salutatorian presentation with Senator Bonasek. and Kim Gonzalez, Joseph Santoro, and Isabel Pizzo, and their family. We were very proud of them. Their names were read on the Senate floor, and it was really an honor to be there with those students. And congratulations again to those students. Senate floor. Brian Iverson just spoke to us and told us that the junior high won gold and the seniors won silver at the NYSSMA concert. The academic recognition last night was sponsored by the Faculty Association. I've seen many National Honor Society presentations and initiations. This was the finest I've ever seen. And I want to thank the teachers, and I said last night, our students have taken advantage of the best teachers in the state. Thank you all. If you walk through the high school, you'll notice there's a lot of white walls. I'm going to correct that. They're going to have some color to them next year. We paint them every year, so it's not an additional expense. We're going to add a little color, some green and gold, and some other shades of color, so it doesn't look like a hospital. And in terms of safety initiatives, the card readers are being installed now. The door alarms are all in, and you've probably heard them go off in the buildings. I set one off one day taking a student out for a walk. Don Hunt has gotten us some rocks for the sidewalks. I have to go out later on and pick out some rocks for the sidewalk. But it's better he brings them here than I have to travel around the woods with him. Thanks, Don. There was a budget vote some time ago that I canceled. There was some accusations that I broke the law, that the board president was culpable as well. It was determined that there was no law broken. It was unprecedented, and that's a fact. But there was no law broken, and neither the State Ed Department or the New York State Board of Elections had any issue with them. And I'll do it again if there's safety of the public, and I want everyone to have the right to vote, and I don't want half the population disenfranchised because of the storm. And I will do it again. Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to work here. And I think that concludes my report. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I want to mention one more thing that Kim forgot. Kim's going to organize for the 15th. The students were interested in the seniors that are going off to college or to work on some basic self-defense. And this old man will teach it to them. I've been doing it for 30 years. I can do it with our seniors. All right, Kim, you going to set that up?
Yep.
I've only been gone a week, but I just feel like we've made tremendous strides in this last week. Some public that everybody knows about, some that we can clap and cheer because our students continue to represent our school district with pride and with vigor, and I couldn't be more proud of where they end up on the Senate floor and at NYSSMA, and you know, we're a little teeny school district, and we have a big punch. We make ourselves known. And
Yeah, we do.
Just in case you wondered, I'm very happy to be the board president of this board. I like working with Dr. Morgano. I like working with this public. I like working with these board members. And I am pleased, and these administrators, and I am pleased and happy to be looking at a new year soon with July coming. And I think that we've had rough seas, and our boat is not capsized. We look good, okay? This is my...
Can I add to that, because, I'm not gonna do this without bawling, but, this is my last meeting. And, somebody did this before, but my husband is from Long Island, and praised this school forever and always will, because basically, in short, you are not a number. You know, in the city, you play one sport, that's it. Here, you play all your sports, we used to have our art out, the music, you read everything. And you can't get enough of that. And we are an excellent school, we are a caring school, we are a loving school, we are a family. So, thank you.
Thank you. Although this is your last sit-down board meeting, I was thinking about the 19th, and I did not realize, or I would have gone out of my way to thank you for your years of service. You have been one of the most thoughtful, kind-hearted, and supportive people that this district has ever known. And thank you for your service. I expect you to continue prodding, poking, praying, okay? Will you do all those things for us? Thank you.
All right, we have our first public comment, and that is limited to consent agenda. So if you'd like to speak, please come up and use the microphone and identify yourself so that we know who you are. And please go ahead and speak. Any questions from anybody? Any report on the consent agenda? It's quite long, actually, this time around. 401 to 408. I should be a question. This one.
God bless you.
We have, if you might have noticed, Heather is sitting in tonight for Lisa and has already been hard at work on this endlessly thankless, I want to say, but she's done a beautiful job and the transition has been excellent. We wish Lisa all the best as well and hope to have her back. But in the meanwhile, we are in good hands with Heather. Thank you, Heather. Yeah, there are two 604s, so we will make 1A and 1B. And then it goes through 708. Any questions on the consent agenda from the board? I need a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda provided with 604A and 604B.
Second.
Thank you. And we will be voting with two absent tonight. So Ms. Bose?
Yes.
Mr. LaPointe?
Yes.
And I will say yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so now we are on 7. We are on number 8, old business already. Old business from the board. New business from the board. Okay. 1001 is the rules of order and the qualification of voters. Does this need to be read? Again? Great. Okay. During the public comment portion of this meeting, each speaker should identify himself, herself, and state their town and residence. Speakers need to be acknowledged prior to speaking. Questions must pertain to the propositions, one question at a time per person. Oh, I see. The moderator reserves the right to close discussions. Voting will take place on Tuesday, June 19, 2018, at the Eldred Junior Senior High School in Eldred, New York, between the hours of 11 a.m. and 9 p.m. Qualifications for voting: must be a citizen of the United States, must be 18 years of age or over, must be a resident of the school district for 30 days or more preceding the date of the vote. Registration books will be divided by last names. There will be information available pertaining to the ballot on display. The closing of the voting will take place at 9 p.m. on June 19, 2018, providing all present have been given the opportunity to cast a ballot. The custodian inspectors of the vote will oversee the registration and voting. The custodian and inspectors will verify all results of the voting. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing of the qualified voters of the Eldred Central School District, herefore known as the school district, a school district in New York State, in the state of New York, located in the counties of Orange and Sullivan, will be held at the Eldred Central School District, a senior high school in the Eldred Central School District on June 7th at 7 p.m. That's this meeting, obviously, for the presentation of the proposed budget for the following school year. The budget has been available for review since May 1st, and therefore at both school buildings and at the school district office. Notice is further given that the annual meeting of the qualified voters of the school district will be held at the Eldred Junior Senior High School, Eldred, New York, on June 19th, between the hours of 11 a.m. and 9 p.m., at which time the polls will be open to vote by voting machine upon the following items. The adoption of the following proposition. Proposition number 1, school budget. That the Board of Education of the Eldred Central School District is hereby authorized to expend $16,848,150 during the 2018-2019 school year. Proposition number 2, Sunshine Hall Free Library. That the Board of Education of the Eldred Central School District is hereby authorized to levy taxes annually in the amount of $14,790 and to pay over such monies to the Board of Trustees of the Sunshine Hall Free Library. Election of Board of Education member. The qualified voters of the Eldred Central School District are authorized to elect one candidate as a member of the Board of Education to serve a 5-year term beginning July 1st, 2018 and ending June 30th, 2023. At this time, the district treasurer and superintendent will answer questions pertaining to the proposition during this period of public comment. Questions? So this meeting will now remain open and be reconvened by the district clerk on Tuesday, June 19th at 11 a.m. when voting will open.
Just a comment, would it be appropriate to change that first paragraph to recognize that the meeting now is at Mackenzie and not the high school? Be a simple note I would think in the notes.
Yes. Oh, the meeting on 10:02? Yes, because this meeting is at Mackenzie, and you should say that. Okay, well, are we fine on that, Heather? Okay. So then this next part is what is going to be the Roseville report. Okay. Well, we don't have an open public comment. This public comment at the end here was just for the ballot. So I believe at this time there was nothing more than what was on the consent agenda, but we have public comment at the end of the meeting. So we will open that now for anyone who wishes to speak.
Figuring this out.
Hello. Sorry. My legal name is Margaret Blau, but I introduced myself. I'm on the agenda because I have some correspondence and I just felt it was important and I was asked to read it tonight. I apologize right now for the length of this, but I wanted to be heard. I am a 1997 Eldred graduate from here, and I went on to continue my education at SUNY Oneonta. Following graduation, I returned to the home and to live in the place that I love. I work and live in the county. I sit on several boards, including the Greater Berryville Chamber of Commerce, the Can't Hurt Steel Community Foundation. I'm also a member of the Town of Highland Lions Club and the Ullin Fire Department. And the only reason I share this is so I want you all to understand that the community itself is very important to me. And most importantly, I'm a mom of 3. My 6-year-old twin daughters, Mary and Keegan Blau, are currently in 1st grade here at Mackenzie. My son, Kiefer, he is currently attending the pre-K program at Project Excel. My recent experience with the teachers at Eldred have been nothing but wonderful. Having twins in the district is a bonus. You get to experience each classroom and each teacher. You get to match each child with the teacher that will best help them grow. My daughter Keegan started pre-K with an IEP. Under the guidance and structure of Ms. Yenny and Ms. Tuso, Keegan grew. My husband and I could not ask for anything more. As she moved into Ms. Davis's kindergarten class, she no longer required an IEP. This year, she has Ms. Polanis. It's been the best year yet. Mary is more reserved. Ms. Robertson provided her comfort and helped her grow in pre-K. Ms. Lombardi taught her the tools of being selfless and helping others. And Ms. Van Hague has built her confidence. And during all of this, they taught them how to read, tell time, math, and so much more. Personally, my family suffered this year a great loss. These teachers provided my girls with comfort, and that is something that I will never forget, and I don't know how to ever repay. 6 months ago, my son was diagnosed with being on the spectrum. My husband and I struggled with finding the right direction and providing him everything that he needs. We have been to several developmental doctors and professionals with little advice. I finally reached out to Ms. Yenny. She took the time to review all of his evaluations. She asked us questions, and then she asked if he could pay a visit. He came here, she comforted him, and she walked him down the hallway to his classroom where he spent 3 hours. For the first time, we had hope. I share this because I know we are a good school. And I know financially there have been tough choices that had to be made. Dr. Moragano, Mr. Russell, you have the leadership and the knowledge to lead our community in the right direction. Dr. Moragano submitted his resignation, and this saddens me. What upsets me more is the lack of effective communication, leadership, and teamwork of this current board. The community is broken. The morale of our teachers has dropped, and as a result, the school is at risk of losing wonderful teachers. I'm personally disappointed because in the past, I've supported all of you. Carol, Amador, and Linda, we need change. What was is not working. I thought Allison and Brian would bring some fresh ideas and positive changes. What I have seen is yelling, disrespect, and the ability to tear apart a community. As a person who grew up with a family of politicians, the board meeting, next page, and the election is worse than I've seen in years. Where's our strategic plan? How do we move forward? And most importantly, how do we work together? Be the example for our children. There are some actions that need to be made. I challenge you to lead, follow, work together, or step away. Dr. Moragano, thank you. I hope you will reconsider rescinding your resignation. If not, I thank you for your time and your patience. And lastly, I leave it with Gandhi. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Thank you.
Anybody else for public comment?
My name is Kristen Smith. I have two children in the district. My son Ty is going to be a sophomore in September, and my daughter is going to be in 5th grade, Jillian. As I'm sure you all know, many members of the community are outraged and disgusted with the treatment of Dr. Morgano, leading to his resignation. Our district is in disarray right now, and many parents and community members in the district feel that Dr. Morgano's presence is a tremendous factor in getting our schools back on track. Although not a personal issue by any means by any one of us, we believe the behavior of a sitting board member needs to come to an end, as it is damaging our district, dividing our community, and most importantly has potential to hurt our kids. Unintentionally, I'm sure, we have now been put in a very compromised position, as Dr. Morgano has been a breath of fresh air to our district and our children, which should be our #1 priority, not our ego, not control, not pride, but our kids. We feel as though we have taken one step forward to take 2 steps back, and it's very frustrating. There has been a petition circulating and continuing to circulate after tonight to ask this board member, Brian Siegel, to please tender his resignation in the best interest of our children and our district. If said board member does not agree to tender his resignation, we, the undersigned of this petition, respectfully request that the remaining board members vote to remove him from the school board. That's all I got.
This is my last night, so I can say it. I have developed quite a few health issues. Many due to what you just talked about.
We have 250 signatures right now on this petition, and more to come. People are very frustrated.
Thank you.
I thank you for your support, and I am giving serious consideration to doing just that. I just want to take a minute and recognize several retirees. Mary Ellen Sutherland from Junior Senior High School, Linda Lee from Mackenzie, and Patricia Ayers from Mackenzie as well. Good luck to them.
I wish I went up before Kristen. I just wanted to ask this, I don't know how I'm going to follow that.
I have a question for you, Mr. Russell and Dr. Margano. A few of the high school students and I have sat down, and we are planning a Save Our School concert thing. I can do 3 things, not perfectly, but okay: teach, be a mom, and perform, which I used to do in the city. I've sat down with about 10 to 12 high school kids already that would like to do a concert. Would that be something that we can do this summer and put that money towards the school, either putting it in the Federal Reserve, not the Federal Reserve, I won't give that money, putting it towards a pre-K program, putting it towards something, is that something that is allowed? And the reason why I ask this, a few of them are doing it for their National Honor Society, but even before we sat down and said, oh, you can do that for National Honor Society as a volunteer, all the children that I spoke to have been affected by the pre-K program here at Eldred. And being a teacher, I teach first grade, and you can tell which students have gone to pre-K, had the opportunity, and who do not, or who do not have parents that are educated. And this year, well, every year, my children being in this district, it has been a godsend. This year, Ms. Van Hagen just told me that my daughter, who is not on first grade reading level, is on a first grade reading level. And she kids all the time, and there's a bus driver that still to this day has her read stuff, and she couldn't speak till she was almost 3 and a half, 4. And through this district and the wonderful care of Mrs. Yenny and Miss Tuso, of Miss Lombardi, God I love you, and Miss Guerrera and Miss Van Hagen and Mrs. Keegan, who's a rock star in Zamora. It was the pre-K program that started it. I did what I could at home, and being a teacher, I wish I did more, but it was the pre-K program. And I just want to know, can we do that? Because I already have, through giving private lessons, have saved $1,000 just from starting in December. Can that money go towards the school? And that's my question.
I don't know if you could raise enough to restore the preschool, but why don't we sit down next week in my office and plan this out?
Maria Millen, 5th grade teacher at Mackenzie. I find that a lot of people are talking about the district in the past tense. We are still here, we are still teaching, and we are still making it fun for the kids. So even though it's June, and I've been told by many students that I should not be assigning homework, or God forbid having a read. Last night at the award ceremony, seeing so many of my former students getting scholarships, being valedictorian, it's a tremendous sense of pride to be in a place where you could actually keep track of the kids. So, parents, we're still here, and we're worth fighting for.
I received a call today from someone who's moving into our district who wanted to know if it was true that we were merging with Sullivan West. I told her, we're not merging with anybody. We're going to be here for a long time.
Yeah.
All right. I need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved. For
And all those in favor say aye.
Matter of litigation.
For matter of litigation. Aye.
And Linda also has an issue for the board as well, to speak up in executive session. Meanwhile, thank you for this rally. I think it was a board meeting, but it was a great rally, so thank you very much. Business conducted when we come out of executive session. Mike?
No, not until December.
$99 as per the Dublin. 137.
Are you kidding?
I just went.
I know this is.
Well, that was what, one thing,
And then 137 to come back.
236.
I mean, don't take all the luggage.
I move to come out of executive session at 8:50 PM.
So moved. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we have two.
Resolution, Linda, you reading?
I'm sorry?
Are you reading?
You have the resolution?
Oh geez, I took it in shorthand.
Well, Julie's
I
resolution.
definitely can't read again.
I can read it. Here, move this.
Okay. Yeah.
Here we go.
Wait a minute.
It's going to be two resolutions, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Be it resolved. The Board of Education hereby appoints Linda Russ.
Oh,
Please.
Oops. Appoints Lisa Russ, Esquire of Council, to Shaw, Harrison, Day, and Lambert LLP, to act as a Title VII investigator pursuant to the terms of the retainer agreement between the district and said law firm. Any seconds?
I second.
Discussion? Need to be more clear than that? This is, okay, this is the Title VII investigation. Okay. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Do we have a second one? You wrote it down? Can you do it?
I can, it's in shorthand, so I haven't done it in a while. As per 638 and 640 and 642, the New York State Education Law Book, the Elder Central School District Board of Education hereby appoints Mr. Russ to investigate the behavior of a particular board member for subsequent removal.
I'll second.
Discussion?
That should be for possible.
Amendment, or possible.
And then,
I'll second the amendment. No discussion for me. No.
discuss Linda?
No, sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And, on the motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Could you just read it again a little more slowly, please?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. As per 6.38, 640, and 642 of the New York State Education Department Law Book, I think that's what it says.
We have numbers, but it says school board member something.
It's a school law book, the red book.
The Elder Central School District Board of Education hereby appoints Lisa Russ,
Can you spell it?
RISA.
to investigate the behavior of a particular board member for subsequent, possible subsequent removal.
Of a particular board member for?
Possible subsequent removal.
And who is Lisa Russ?
She's an attorney with our law firm.
Which is Shaw.
Sean Perlson, May and Lambert.
Any motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Can you open for public comment so I can ask a question?
You can go ahead and ask a question, but we're not going to necessarily have public comment on this part.
Okay, it's a question. Does the Eldred Central School District have an attorney on?
Yeah, we have the law firm that represents the school district.
Does that person not normally come to all board meetings?
Only if we feel that we need a lawyer's perspective on what's coming up on the agenda.
Has that always been the way? The last couple of years?
Everywhere I go.
No, we have them come when they're needed, but we think they're going to be needed. So a lot of times the resolutions have to do with items of law. And so we, yeah. All right, any other comments? Let's do it that way.
Yeah, do you know what time we're going to adjourn to executive session?
Yes. It was at 7:59 p.m.
I love you. Huh?
Okay, motion to adjourn, I need a second.
We just did it, didn't we?
I don't know, all those in favor?
Aye.
So have you took notes?
Yes.
So I'll, where am I?
That's our clerk.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, thank you.
Deputy. Deputy Dog. Remember Deputy Dog?
Yeah, yes, it is.
So, Dr. Morgano, you will come to that lawyer, right?